Now at 38, almost 39 minutes chance of the hour. Thank you, Patrick, for that weather update. We're at 27 degrees here at the Broadcast Center. News Radio 1013 FM, 1420 AM, KWN, KWN TV. It is a Thursday, and on our Newsmaker segment, it is time to talk with Dade County Executive Ted Rumley. He's back in the studio. We'll welcome him back. Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning. Good morning, David.
How are you?
I'm cold this morning. I've been down to Four Fields this morning, or their sports complex, the primary. They're doing vaccination down there today. They're going to be there most all the day. And, they were lined up, and it was frosty. They were there, I think, at 8 o'clock. So that's...
Now, I guess, and hopefully you can explain this, because I know that they're doing that down there. But that is their patients, and they're scheduling their own appointments.
Oh yeah, but you don't. You can call. Of course, our health department too. But primary is.
The number that we're giving out, like this morning, where there's 50 appointments left.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with the primary.
Two separate things.
Okay.
Two separate things.
It is getting confusing already, and I'm afraid once the drugstores start giving them and different things like that, then it's going to be even more confusing.
Yeah. Well, it'll be confusing, but it'll give people more of a chance, more numbers to call. And we let them use the area down there because of the room, because what they do, so you don't have to get out of your car.
Right.
When you call and make an appointment there, you don't have to get out and go in. And a lot of people, it's hard for them. It's hard for them to even get in a car. But and then you pull over and you wait 15 minutes and you go on your way. But our health department, now our health department has been working with people, but as a rule, they want you to come in and sit down. But I do know that they have been accommodating to some people, because some people they can't go in, But
right.
It's
before we move away, let me ask you one more question, and I think I know the answer. But Premier Healthcare Center at the Dade Rec Facility on 11 South is where they're set up. You get an appointments through the primary that way. Now they are still following the 1A guidelines set forth by the governor. You have to be 65 and older, or the certain criteria, or the caretaker of someone. So primary is also vaccinating, but they're under the same guidelines and following the same restrictions.
Same
that
restrictions.
The Dade Health Department.
Exactly right. Yeah, and we're working, because Carrie and I, and we were just talking about when the phase 2 comes in. When they start the actual
1B.
1B, they call it. I call it phase 1, phase 2. But anyway, it's we're trying to work with Rome, our regional in Rome, as some of the other counties that has worked with when they do what they call a mass vaccination, because and possibly, I know they're kind of cramped for room downstairs down in our health department, and this is going to be a pretty big wave when it hits, when they open that up, and we're trying to come up with a place that we can actually have a lot more room for them, and maybe set up some more lines, call-in lines and all that. So I'm trying to work on that maybe this week and first of next week, and I don't know whether we're going to work anything out or not, but anyway, of course, because when this does hit, when this second wave does hit, it's going to be probably way more than the 65 and older and the caretakers, because
the 1B moves us from an age of 65 and older to essential workers.
That's right.
Is in the B category, and you'd have to go back, I guess, to see who was declared an essential worker, which basically opens it up to the folks at the grocery stores, all of the folks in the industrial park,
school teachers,
they were
educators, everybody.
Some of the employees of the school system are classified as essential workers, and from what I understand, so it's going to be it could be all ages, but it's going to be essential workers.
There'll be a lot of people, and also a lot of people don't realize it, but yes, we are giving the vaccine to Georgia residents, but if you live in Tennessee or Alabama or wherever, and you work in Dade County or in Georgia, then you still are, you can actually call and they cannot refuse you. So that's
once they move into the second phase.
Right now, if you're 65 and older and you live in Alabama, but you work and you've got a job here in Georgia, or in Dade County. No, they.
Well, that's something new because I haven't heard that
No,
or read that at all.
Yeah, that was challenged a few weeks ago. Yeah, so it is. It's if you work in Georgia, yeah.
I know that
You got to prove that.
Dr. Toomey had said just last week we aired her one of her press conferences, and she was asked a question.
Yeah.
Do you have to go to your county? And she said no. If you were, for instance, if you lived in Dade County, she didn't use Dade, of course, but if you lived in Dade County and you could go to Walker County and get anybody in Georgia.
In Georgia, they've had people from all over Georgia come in here. I mean, they've had Carrie had a person call, of course, and from Florida, and we're going to fly up here. I think you mentioned on the air that day. So, but in Georgia, though, it doesn't matter if you're from Floyd County or Savannah, and you go online and you find that we've got, say you said we got 60 today, and tomorrow. Well, if they pick that up online, which there is websites out there, I think some apps that you can load, and you can track it, and and if you take a day trip, run up here and you get your shot. So a lot of people, I mean, we're going to have a lot of people, more than I think than you would think, when this next phase, call it what you want, happens. Because we're not just dealing with 65 and over people, we're dealing with a lot of people here.
Yeah, it would be essential workers.
Essential workers, and like you said, all of our industrial plant, all of our, was.
Well,
we didn't
if you go back
plant.
to last year, and I know that you and I were dealing with it on a daily basis, with the updates and things that just about all of our industrial park, we're very fortunate. Because the transportation industry, the medical industry, the building industry are all classified as essential workers, and that pretty much is the majority of our jobs that we have in our industrial park.
And we were fortunate because there's a lot of counties in middle Georgia and down in Georgia that I've talked to, commissioners, and they're really hurting. I mean, especially them, because it shut just about everything down in their little. It shut their revenue down. I mean, and people. Did not have work, so we're fortunate.
Dade County, and we can segue into the next thing. The unemployment rate continues to be well below the state average here in north Georgia. Catoosa County at 3.2, we're at 3.5, a little bit higher in Walker at 3.9, Chattooga up around the 5 range, but. We have definitely been blessed here in North Georgia. We've got jobs, and very, very, very few people that are even getting unemployment.
That's true.
I think of the latest statistics I saw, there was just over 200 folks that were drawing unemployment. That's it in the whole county.
Yep.
So, and as you know, Commissioner, you're out and about all the time. Everywhere you go, there's a help wanted sign.
Oh yeah, there's work out there if you want to work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, what's going on with the rest of the activities going on with county government?
Well, we got of course I was giving an update on County Road 6. They're on track. They made a big pour here the day before yesterday, and we're going right on with it. So we're still on. And the weather hurt a little bit the other day, but they still went on with it. The Tractor Supply over here, they also, I've been over there a couple of times.
They're pouring a lot of concrete.
They're getting it, but just saying, I mean, they're pushing them because that contractor's under the microscope right now, because as we've said a couple of times, he's got to have that building finished, paved, ready for them to start stocking that store, the first of this month. I mean, the first of March, the first week of March. So. They're on a deadline, and they will be penalized, I'm sure, if they go over, according to what he said. But so they're pushing them pretty heavy. They were pouring concrete in 30-degree weather the other morning. It's 34 degrees, and they're pouring concrete, but they were set up for it. They had blankets and all that. I mean, it's because you take a chance when you pour concrete this time of year. You got to set up with it. You got to baby it, or you'll lose it. It'll crack on you. The Dollar General out on the mountain out there, we did a final power. Inspection.
And it's on 301 North.
301 out on Sand Mountain, and so they're coming right along with that. They probably already got their permanent power turned on inside, and they're again, they're working on a schedule on that. Now the weather's helped them back a little bit. One of the reasons is because they actually started from bare ground, and there was a lot of mud when it started raining, and over at the Dyer property over there where of course there was an existing building there, so they kept the pad. I mean, it wasn't a lot of In other words, it didn't hurt them when it rained. They had done gravel and all down. So anyway, that's two things right there. That's just moving right along. We do have a meeting tonight. You know, it don't seem like January just went by real fast, but we've got our commission meeting. We've got a work session starts at 6, and then we'll go right into our commission meeting. Don't have a whole lot on the agenda. You know, this time of the year, you sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. We've got, you know, some appointments and I think a resolution or two, but nothing really drastic. We'll have reports, you know, from our different people. The mayor is always there, and those 4-H people, and the chamber will give a report and all that. But that'll be a work session start at 6 o'clock.
There was some questions, and I'm sure it was because of the tornadoes that we had in Birmingham last week and the loss of life. Update on the shelters in Dade County. Where are we at?
Well, we've got, you know, we're actually, you know, are ready to start. You know, in the spring, we've already the bids have already went out, and Alex is, of course, he's kind of handling that, you know, as far as that goes, and it's going to become a reality here, you know, come you know, spring, you know, in warm weather, you know, in the sites that we want to be building them on. So I feel good, you know, by the end of the summer you'll be able to see some structures up, you know.
I know that you know, you don't talk about you know, you and I, when we were growing up, you didn't hear a great deal about tornadoes, and now definitely in January, having loss of life in Alabama, you know, from tornadoes, it's a different time.
Oh yeah, well, people think different, you know. I mean, they've seen what a tornado will do, you know, when we were hit about years ago, and it really changed everybody's way of looking at weather and looking how they think when the wind starts blowing. I know, you know, when the tornado hit our house back in '92,
right,
a lot of people didn't understand it after that, but our whole, when I say my family, you know, I mean, we changed our whole way of looking at weather, and it changes the way you look at a lot of things. You know, it makes
this
you appreciate
is National Severe Weather Awareness Week,
it is.
And yesterday was tornado, and there's a different theme every day, all of this week, and you know, I mean, I can remember, you know, February was the time that you could talk about thunderstorms and lightning and tornadoes because you didn't have to worry about them.
That's right.
But now, obviously, they're happening at all times during the year.
Well, you know, when the tornado, even back in '92, when it hit our house and blew it away, that was November the 22nd. You know, that was in November. I mean, it used to, even in November and December, you never thought about severe weather. That always happened in the spring. You know, when you know, like April, you know, around April or May, but our whole weather pattern, you know, in the past few years have changed, and it's reality. It's real. You know.
Yeah. Today, being February 4th, lightning safety. You know, Monday was family preparation. Tuesday, thunderstorm safety. Wednesday, a tornado safety drill. They did have, I know at a number of the schools yesterday morning, a tornado drill. Lightning safety today and tomorrow, and no stranger to this area, flood safety. Is going to be on the agenda. It's something different every day this week, and we've definitely had our fair share of floods, and with Lookout Creek, I'm sure, you know, it's several times a year now.
Yeah, exactly. And but you know, it is what it is, and it's just, you know, this is we're living in different times, you know, I mean, and trying times, and not only the weather, but you know, everything else, you know, from politics to everything. So I mean, you know, we used to talk. A lot of the young people, they just kind of take it for granted, you know, when we hear some of the older people talk about, you know, during Thanksgiving and Christmas, how cold it used to be, you know, when we were young, when I was in, say, 10, 12 years old. But that's, you know, Thanksgiving was usually a time that you prepared you know, you killed hogs. I mean, you prepared meat out, you know, and there was people, I know in our end of the county, in Sand Mountain and Lookout too, because the weather was so cold, you know, when you got out of school, you know, for Thanksgiving or through Christmas, it was, the ground was froze. I mean, you know, that was the ponds froze over and stayed froze for, you know, for several months, couple of months. You know, you had
you just said they're folks 40 and under
they don't.
What's he talking about, killing hogs?
They don't really understand. That's where, you know, you prepared them for, you know, for your. But anyway, it's just you know, we used to have to break ice, you know, in all the ponds because they stayed froze. You know, so our whole climate, you know, they talk about climate change. Well, there's definitely a change here, you know, from the time we were younger until now. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
So tonight, 6 o'clock for the work session, 7 o'clock, or actually you go right into the regular meeting.
Usually, we'll take, you have a 5 minute, and then we'll go right on into it.
And it'll be streamed tonight, KWN News Now. You'll be able to watch it live if you'd like on Facebook.
And we're still, using the limited number there and going by the COVID rules, Governor, because it's still here, people. I'm telling you, we've had 35, in the last 7 days, test positive in Dade County. The numbers may change today. We'll be on 3 o'clock. We'll give you a direct, but that was from the health department. I think I sent that to you too, Evan. I think on it. But
yes.
But you got counties like Walker. They've had 170 just in the last 7 days. It's still. So we're very careful in our building. We have all the fronts are different. If you haven't been in to buy your tag or been in our office or whatever, it's just we're trying to do everything we can, not only protect us, but we're trying to protect you, and that's why. So.
What do you make of the study that's come out this week in the state of Georgia that says that only about 50% of the folks in Georgia are going to take the vaccine?
Well, that's numbers. That's
right.
That poll can be anything, but that doesn't.
And we're seeing it now. Yeah. Because right now we've got more appointments than we've got people that have called for
That's
them.
Right. That's right.
And about half of the 65 and 5 population has already got their vaccinations here in Dade County, or at least the first one. Yeah. So it's.
Well, I don't know
it could be holding true.
I don't know.
They're just saying about 50% is all that say they're going to take it.
Yeah, but I wonder about that because I tell you, there's been a tremendous amount of 65 and older people down there. I just and I would say that number, if anything, would be low. I think it would.
Well, right now we're about 50% because I think they've had 1,300 and something. And there's about 3,000 65 and under.
Yeah, and you're going by the census.
The population of the county.
Yeah.
I guess we can. You got anything else that you want to? We're getting short on time here. We got a couple minutes.
No, it's just it's the time of the year. It's February. Hopefully we won't have a hard February, but we're I said this last month, and we're ready for winter. We've got all our stock for our salt bins and rock, and we've got our trucks ready to go if needed. We're spending most of our time right now not only just patching roads, but we're on County Road 6 because we are doing that in-house, So I've got as many men as we can have up there working on that road. It's winter and just bear with us, if you see anything out there that needs to be taken care of on our roadways, call our office, call my number. I give my number out all the time. We'll handle it. But right now, we're trying to put all of our concentration right now on County Road 6 because, that is a critical road, and people don't realize until you shut something like that down, and not only for Dade County thoroughfare, but the Alabama people use it, and all those people going out into the area of the Davis area, they really see it. But it's not something that we're dragging on, that's for sure. We're rock and rolling, and the good thing about it is because we had to start it when we did because people don't realize how bad it slid. It really was dropping there every 2 weeks, every week, it was dropping. But we did start it in winter, but thank goodness, that Mother Nature's been good to us because we've not had so far, knock on wood, we've not had bad weather that would keep us from working up there. So anyway, but that's pretty much everything we've got, going. And,
all right, and give us your phone number,
all right,
how they can get in touch with you.
It's 423-667-8999, or call the office here at our office 657-4625, and we'll be glad to talk to you and help you if we possibly can.
Dade County Executive Ted Rumley, the studio with the Newsmaker segment here on KWN Today. We thank you very much, and once again, the meeting will be live tonight, 6 o'clock, for the start of the work session, and we will stream it live at KWN News Now on Facebook. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
It is about a minute and a half before the top of the hour. We'll